play the recording, but have them doing something with their bodies, doing it that's fun. They're getting it in their ears, but they're not just sitting there listening to it, right? So that was actually a piece that's from the Rhythm and Beats for Hands and Feet that comes from Feet Music. But any song that you play, you can do something like that with. And that just helps get it in their ear. So we're going to talk about a lot of different ways to teach a new song, first of all. I'm hoping that in this session we can just talk about a lot of ideas for how to structure your rehearsals and just ways to keep the kids engaged where they're not just sitting there reading a piece of music for an hour or until you're pulling your hair out or whatever. So hopefully we'll get some ideas today. So what we just did was what I call active listening. So they're listening, but they're doing something. And, think about the different things you could use: scarves or rhythm sticks, or in my preschool session earlier, we were using Beanie Babies and like bouncing to the beat with them. And there's all kind of things that you can do while you're listening to a song. And it can be like a funny, silly, upbeat song, or it can be a song that you're going to learn. But using active listening to kind of get it in their mind. Another sort of technique that I like to use to start teaching a song is just fill in the blank. So I'm going to sing this new song for you. This is exactly what I would do with my kids. I'm going to sing this new song for you. I'm only going to sing it 2 times, and I want to see if after 2 times, if you can fill in all the missing words. Okay? So here I go. Ring the bells on Christmas Day. Christ is born. Christ is born. All the angels join to say, Christ is born. Christ is born. Jesus Christ, come to dwell. God with us, Emmanuel. Spread the news to all and say, Christ is born today. Anybody think they can fill in all the blanks? Yeah? Okay. So I'd sing it one more time, and then I'll ask the kids to fill in the blanks. So let's see if we can fill in all the blanks together. Ring the bells. Bells on Christmas Day. Christ is born. Christ is born. All the angels. Angels. Wow, y'all are advanced. Join to say, Christ is born. Christ is born. Christ is born. Jesus Christ, come to dwell. God with us. Wow, y'all are good. Okay. Spread the news to all and say, Christ is born today. Today. Excellent. And I use slides a lot in my teaching, but the same thing on a whiteboard. Write the words and cover it up with like little pieces of cardboard taped over it, or construction paper. Like, it doesn't have to be slides. But that the kids really engage with it if it feels like a game or a challenge to them. So if you're just challenging them, hey, I bet you can't figure it out after, bet you can't get all the missing words, then they're going to really be listening. They're going to be paying attention to the words. So let's echo sing this song together to learn it. We'll do my turn, your turn. Ring the bells on Christmas Day.
Ring the bells on Christmas Day.
Christ is born. Christ is born.
Christ is born. Christ is born.
Jesus. Whoa, that's not the right word. All the angels join to say.
All the angels join to say.
Christ is born. Christ is born.
Christ is born. Christ is born.
Jesus Christ, come to along with me? Yeah, okay. Here we go.
Ring the bells on Christmas Day.
Christ is
born. Christ is born. All the angels join to say, Christ is born. Christ is born. Jesus Christ come to dwell. God with us, Emmanuel.
Wait, wait, wait.
Spread the news to all and say, Christ is born today.
Okay, is there a phrase in that song that seems like it's a little bit different from the rest of it? Like, is there a part of the song that seems sort of different from the other parts? Christ is born. Yeah, so that one's a little bit different, right? Because all the other phrases start with da da da, but that one, Jesus Christ, come to dwell, God with us, Emmanuel. Okay, so getting the kids to identify same in different sections helps them sort of dissect the like the form of it and just like how the parts are put together. Okay, so now let's do some sections. So I would like for you to be in charge of the black sections and I'm in charge of the red sections. So you get to sing the black all by yourself and I sing the red all by myself. 1, 2, here you go.
Ring the bells on Christmas Day.
Christ is born, Christ is born.
All the angels join to say,
Christ is born, Christ is born.
Jesus Christ come to dwell. God with us, Emmanuel.
Wait.
Spread the news to all and say,
Christ is born today. Okay, excellent. Now can we flop jobs? Can we flip jobs? Okay, so now I'm in charge of the black, you're in charge of the red. Ring the bells on Christmas Day.
Christ is born. Christ is born.
All the angels join to say,
Christ is born. Christ is born.
Jesus Christ come to dwell, God with us, Emmanuel. Spread the news to all and say,
Christ is born today.
okay, so that's what I call just sections. So we're dividing it and giving people different jobs. We can have girls do a part and boys do a part. Just ways to help them make structure of the song. They're learning it, but they're not just sitting there singing it over and over. And you feel like you know it now, right? Like after, right? Okay. So now we're going to work on my favorite way for kids to memorize, which is covering phrases and words. So now we've got all the words, and now we're going to memorize. Okay? So I'm going to give you one chance to sing it without my help, and then I'm going to start covering stuff up. And you'll be probably sick of this song, but that's okay, because you're going to know it. We're going to have a song for the example. 1, 2, here you go.
Ring the bells on Christmas Day. Christ is born. Christ is born. All the angels join to say, Christ is born. Christ is born. Jesus Christ come to dwell. God with us, Emmanuel. Spread the news to all and say, Christ is born today.
Good. Okay. So now, if my kids can sing it really well without my help, I'm going to start covering stuff. So say, now can you still sing it? I'm going to make them sing the whole thing. I'm going to keep covering, right? And I'm like, you can't do it. And they're like, yeah, we can, you know. And then eventually, they're like, no, you know. But they have the whole thing memorized. So that's my favorite way for memory. Same thing with, you can do it on the whiteboard, any of this on the whiteboard with just pieces of paper or whatever. I just like to use slides. slides because I have kindergarten through 5th grade in one day, and I just have to click to the next page. So that is, and all of those things are listed under teaching a new song. So just quickly, I do want to say, like, obviously I wouldn't use all of those in the same choir session, right? So maybe we've done something really active with a song and kind of introduced it. Then I might do that one step of that where I'm starting and they're trying to fill in the blank. And then we're going to leave that song for the day and work on something different. Then later we might come back to a different song that we've been working on, and we might work on the memorization of it. Or we might listen to it and sing along and play some instruments with it. So we want to experience the songs we're working on in different ways, and keep things moving where you're not like spending your whole time on one song because they're not going to stay engaged that long. Okay, so we're going to move on. I'm going to teach you another song. I am going to sing this song for you, and I would just like you to listen, and then I'll ask you a couple of questions. Pepperoni pizza, hot and ready, please. Bring it to my door with lots and lots of cheese. Crispy, crunchy crust will be just fine. Better get your own, 'cause this one's mine. One more time. Pepperoni pizza, hot and ready, please. Bring it to my door with lots and lots of cheese. Crispy, crunchy crust will be just fine. Better get your own, 'cause this one's mine. Raise your hand if you can tell me what kind of pizza we're eating today. Thank you for raising your hand. John's been in 2 of my classes when he knows he has to raise his hand. Pepperoni, raise your hand if you could tell me, are we going to the restaurant or are we getting delivery? Delivery. It says bring it to my door with lots and lots of cheese. What kind of crust do we have on this pizza? Crispy, crunchy crust. Everybody say crispy, crunchy crust.
Crispy, crunchy crust.
Love it. Okay. So let's echo sing this song really quick, and then we're going to add some stuff to it, okay? Let's get it in the right key. Everybody close. My turn, your turn. Pepperoni pizza, hot and ready, please.
Pepperoni pizza, hot and ready, please.
Bring it to my door with lots and lots of cheese.
Bring it to my door with lots and lots of cheese.
Crispy, crunchy crust will be just fine.
Crispy, crunchy crust will be just fine.
Better get your own, 'cause this one's mine.
Better get your own, 'cause this one's mine.
Can you stand up and sing the whole thing with me? 1, 2, and here we go.
Pepperoni pizza, hot and ready, please. Bring it to my door with lots and lots of cheese. Crispy, crunchy crust will be just fine. Better get your own, 'cause this one's mine.
Without my help, and here you go.
Pepperoni pizza, hot and ready, please. Bring it to my door with lots and lots of cheese. Crispy, crunchy crust will be just fine. Better get your own, 'cause this one's mine.
Excellent. Good job. Okay. So press save in your brain with that because we're going to come back to that in a minute. You can have a seat. And with this song, we can do a lot of rhythm building blocks. So I like to use pizza toppings for this one. So we can make some pizzas. And I actually have pizza slices. We're not going to use them right now. This is not our session to have time to do all that. But so I have pizza slices with different toppings. And of course, 4 slices of pizza, you get a measure, which is nice. It's nice how that works out like that, right? But the kids can make patterns with different pizza toppings. But we are right now going to work on this pattern. So I'll say it first, and you can echo after me. Veggie, pepperoni, veggie, cheese.
Veggie, pepperoni, veggie, cheese.
Veggie, pepperoni, veggie, cheese.
Veggie, pepperoni, veggie, cheese.
Okay, can you find a partner, please, and spread out around the room? Partner and spread out around the room.
Is there a partner?
Sure. pattern 4 times. Then we sing and walk. Got it? Okay. Is anybody feeling like they're really in the mood to play a xylophone? Anybody? You can? Okay, well, I'm going to make John come with you and come play with you.
Come on, John.
Okay.
Let's play the xylophone.
Okay. You're like C, G, C, G, C, G. And don't speed up because then you'll be running around the room and it'll be chaos. There you go. C, G, C, G, 1. Wait, here we go. Pepperoni pizza, hot and ready, please. Bring it to my door with lots and lots of cheese. Crispy, crunchy crust will be just fine. Better get your own, 'cause this one's mine. Ready, pepperoni, ready, cheese. Ready, pepperoni, ready, cheese. Ready, pepperoni, ready, cheese. Ready, pepperoni, there you go. Pepperoni pizza, hot and ready, please. Bring it to my door with lots and lots of cheese. Bring it, crunchy crust, will be just fine. Better get it on, 'cause this one's mine. Ready, pepperoni, ready, cheese. Ready, pepperoni, ready, cheese. Ready, pepperoni, ready, cheese. Ready, pepperoni, ready, cheese. Excellent! You can stop right there. So you get the idea, right? It's the mixer, mixing around the room. Thank you. Good job. Okay. Okay, so that's one of those things that would be a great, like, get up and move around break. If you teach that song to your kids one day, it's a fun, easy song. They'll learn it quickly. And then the next week you could teach the hand jive, and then the next week you could try to put it together and play a mixer game with it. You know, and it's just a good kind of break from sitting and learning. So there's that. Okay, I want to talk just a little bit about diversity and inclusion, and this is just one of those things that I think it's good to just think about when we're thinking about the images and the pictures and the wording we use. I teach in a very, very low-income public school, and the kids that I work with don't necessarily have the same background that I do, but most of them don't, and so it is something that I've just learned to think about the families that they have, the resources they have, and just make sure that the way that I'm talking and the things that I use in my classroom are including everyone and making them feel like they are a part, and like I'm talking to them, not like I'm talking to everyone else, right? So this is one of those things that this is not like a right or wrong thing, but this is just to make us think. So I'm going to pretend that I'm doing something called arioso, which is where I have a conversation in a singing voice. So it's something I do with my younger kids. We talked about this a little bit in the preschool session I did. So I would say something like, John, what are you thankful for?
I am thankful for my family.
Yes, so I would ask different people what they're thankful for. And I usually tell my kids, I'll give them some pictures like as examples, but they can say anything. But some kids have a really hard time like thinking of something in their brain, so there's just some ideas for them. So I want you to look at the pictures that I used. And again, this is not like, there's nothing like right or wrong about this, like nothing is bad about these pictures at all. But I want us to think about it. Just look at the pictures I used. Tell me what you notice, good or bad.
The family is all one color.
Okay, the family is all one color.
And the house is a two-story house.
They're all together.
And they have a nice house.
A nice house.
Was a house.
And a lot of food.
A lot of food, right? Lots of people, Thanksgiving table, looks like maybe. Which like, do some of my kids like families families probably look like that? Yeah. Some of them, maybe. Okay, so nothing's wrong with those pictures, but it's just something to think about. So what if I did this? So look at the difference. What did I change? I changed the family.
They're all eating at
Home,
school.
not
For the friends.
And the food is like a school meal.
It's a school meal, right? So it's something that they all get, probably. And our kids should be thankful for that, right? Like they have something to be thankful for, even if it's not what we wish they had. So we want them to be thankful for what they have. What else did I change?
Friends, yeah, soccer ball.
Okay. Why would I do a soccer ball instead of a football?
Depending on the ethnic background of the students, a soccer ball might be more appropriate.
Right, right. So I have a lot of Hispanic students who grew up playing soccer, and I want to make sure they're included, that everything I do isn't basketball and football, which is what most of the students that I work with play. So sometimes I want to make sure I include the soccer ball, right? So that seems like such a silly thing to change, but it's a way to include children and their backgrounds. So I changed my house to home, because we have apartments, we have trailers, I have students living in hotels, in cars. I mean, so home is maybe a more appropriate word, right? So that's really all I wanted to talk about with that. I also skin tone, of course, is something that we want to make sure we're representing in our images, with body percussion or with the pictures we use. And then I just have some examples of changing wording. So that first one, instead of saying give this paper to your mom and dad, give this paper to a grown up at home, right? A lot of them don't have a mom and a dad at home. A lot of them don't have either at home. They live with a grandparent or foster parents or whatever. So what did you get for Christmas? What happened that made you smile over Christmas? So not emphasizing those material things is really important. I have a lot of my students will not go on any cool vacations over the summer. So I will not ask them where they went over the summer because they went to work with their parents or they stayed home and watched after their siblings. So anyway, just things like this to get us thinking. So do y'all have any more thoughts towards that, or just ideas about how we can be inclusive? Yes.
Well, I don't use Christmas, I use holidays.
Okay.
Where I come from, there are a lot of different
Right.
holidays celebrated.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Mm-hmm.
You know something that just struck me, and I've taught in public ed for decades.
Mm-hmm.
So inclusion's not a new concept to me, but today's the first time I thought we're showing somebody what a family that looks like mine, something new. Not just that I'm including somebody that's different from me, but I'm educating
Right.
my
Mm-hmm.
people like me that there's other things too.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And I think Mother's Day, Father's Day, that's tricky. That's tricky, and we should. It's really hard, and I was at a private Christian school as a parent,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm a stepmom. But mom wasn't around, so Mother's Day would come around, and it was we're having
Awkward, yeah.
and they have to sing songs and give things to their mother, but she's not there, so it's just something that we have to think about now, especially we have lots of foster children in the church, and it
Yeah.
can just be tricky.
And there's a lot of painful, there's a lot of just painful experiences that they deal with, and we want to make those painful, and not ignore them at all, but we don't want to feed into that you're different from everybody else because of this or that.
Maybe they die.
Right, right. So just kind of something to think about. I just kind of stuck that in here. It doesn't really go with everything else I've talked about, but it's just something to make you think, I guess, and it's just an important thing to consider. Okay, so let's do some games. I'm gonna just share a few of my favorite games with you. Again, these are all things that I think it's great to stick into choir at different times when your kids need to get up and move around. You've probably done some of these before. Raise your hand if you've done poison rhythm or poison pattern. Only a few. Okay, well we're gonna do it then. So this is an easy game. I'm gonna write the poison pattern on the board. play a pattern, you echo, but if I play the poison rhythm, you do not echo, it's poisonous. And in the music classroom, if you play it, you die a dramatic death. You don't have to die a dramatic death right now because this is a hard, really grabby floor. But I'm just saying, I've got some good dramatic deaths. So please stand. And here we go. That's the poison rhythm. T, 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 ta, ta. Sorry. It was nice knowing you. Okay. Bye. Okay, speed it up a little bit. Nobody? I didn't get anybody on that. Oh, I do it every time. Okay, so you get the game, right? It's really fun. Have a seat.
I like the game with solfege. I don't teach my kids solfege, I
Uh-huh.
just play this game with all of them, and they learn solfege just like me.
Yes. Do you play the salami?
Yes.
Uh-huh. So you can do the same thing with melodies, and usually it's like poison salami, so it's like salami is the poison.
And you also teach the song you're going to learn later in that class.
Yeah. So that's a really fun game. It's great for if you just need a little filler, a little something different. And okay, four corners. We're not actually gonna play this one, but I will show you if I can find in this suitcase of fun that I brought. Okay.
Also, I'd like to say I actually did Solami in elementary, and it was one of our favorite games, so highly recommend. I'd just like to say that.
So for four corners, the classic game four corners, you have each corner of the room numbered. It's like something they do in gym sometimes, and like the kids pick a corner, and then the person in the middle guesses a corner, and everybody in that corner is out, and then they run to another corner. But what I do is I do rhythm patterns, so I have these big rhythms, and I'll put one in each corner of the room. And so you would all just pick one and go stand at it. And then I'm gonna draw one out of a hat and play it on a drum. And if you're standing under that one, you're out. And then everybody runs to a different one. So it's just a run around, like a fun run around game, right? And sometimes we need those. So that's four corners. Finish the line basketball is it's a good game for getting independent singing with older kids. So I'll put a bucket in the front of the room as the basketball. I'll use a squishy, I have these squishy hamburgers and hot dogs, which are great basketballs, so that's usually what we'll throw. Or a bean bag. And I'll sing a line of a song, and if they can finish singing the line, they get to shoot. So usually I'll do 1 point for just finishing the line, and then you can shoot for an extra point. And boys want to shoot a basketball, right? So they will sing the line to do that, which is great because you can hear them sing. And you can do bonus points for using a singing voice so that they're not just wah, 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 you know. But that's just a really good, especially if you have been working on a song for a while, you're reviewing it for performance or something, and it also helps you assess who can sing by themselves, who can do that independently. Okay, dance moves. Let's do some dance moves. So the way that this one works is we have these lovely apples, and boom snap is just little. Don't even go ahead and sing that. You know you want to. Okay. So just a little boom snap. Disco is this thing. Okay. The whip is the whip, not the hanging, just the whip. Okay. And then step touch, just a little back and forth. Okay. Raise the roof is this thing. And then dab. We love a good dab. Oh, and thumbs out. Okay?
The
Let's see. I feel like, let's see. Julie? Would you like to be the first one with the purple blinker? Yay. Okay. So I'm actually going to. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So you're just gonna point, and we're gonna do the thing. You get to decide. You can change it. So when I pause the music, you can pass your pointer to someone else. Hey. There you go.
Get all kinds of things out there. There you go. This is probably my favorite.
Okay, nice. Okay, so you get the idea. Thank you. Thank you. So that's just another fun, like, all of those things are just really easy games that you can stick in when you need something in a rehearsal, when you've been, like, trying to teach this one anthem for 15 minutes and it's not working, you know? And you just need to, like, change the scenery. So I love sticking in a game. Okay. Go back to my slides. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna teach you another new song. So that was, oh, I forgot a game. This is my favorite. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, this one is called Secret Drummer. I love to play this game with drums, but it's also great with rhythm sticks or with body percussion. So I would love for you to come join the circle if you're able. You can bring a chair if you want to, or you can sit on the floor. I'm gonna sit on the floor. The X's are what I'm hoping for. Okay, so to get started for this game, I would just like for you to keep the beat with me the same way I'm keeping the beat. Let's do it all together. Okay, stop. Okay. So for this game, the way it's gonna work is one person is gonna go outside of the room, and while they're out there, we're gonna pick one person in the circle to be the secret drummer, and that person is in charge of leading the beat, like I just did. So we all have to follow what the secret drummer does, and that person's gonna come back and stand in the middle of the circle, and they're gonna get 2 guesses to see who it is. So if they think they know who it is, they're just gonna point to it. And so we have to be sneaky with our eyes. We don't want to stare right at the secret drummer, but we have to follow what they do. Does anybody sitting up there want to be the first guesser for us? Anybody? I just want to watch. Okay, then I'm going to pick you. Bye.
You
Just
got
stand
it.
right outside so that I can call for you when you come up. Okay, so I'm going to point to the secret drummer. Don't say anything. You all know who it is, right? Yes, sir. Come back. Middle of the circle. Everybody put your sticks on your knees. And the secret drummer can start whenever they want. To do with kids because it's just so fun. Like they can do it for a long time. And it's calm, but it's engaging. I don't know. It's just fun. Okay, I'm gonna point. Come back. Okay, middle of the circle, and the secret drummer can start whenever they want. It works great with body percussion. It's great for like 5 minutes at the end of class when you just like need to not do whatever you've been doing, which is a feeling I get sometimes. Just like everybody can chill and play secret drummer, and it's just fun. Okay, thank y'all so much for joining me on the floor. Let's do. Just listen, and if you would like to keep a beat with me on your knees, you can. Jesus is in my boat, he's always with me. Jesus is in my boat, he calms the storm. Jesus is in my boat, he's always with me. Jesus is in my boat, he calms the storm. Okay, who's heard this tune before? Yeah, so this is a folk song called the canoe song, My Paddle, and I just rewrote the words to be about when Jesus calms the storm. So let's echo sing it one time. Jesus is in my boat. Jesus is in my boat. He's always with me. He's always with me. Jesus is in my boat. Jesus is in my boat. He calms the storm. He calms the storm. All together here we go. Jesus is in my boat. He's always with me. Jesus is in my boat. He calms the storm. Again. Jesus is in my boat. He's always with me. Jesus is in my boat. He calms the storm. Good. Okay. So I would like for you to get your canoe paddle, please. And we're going to paddle the half notes. Because you know when you're paddling a canoe, you want to really push the water back. So it's going to be paddle, paddle. Jesus is in my boat.
He's always with me. Jesus is in my boat. He calms the storm. Jesus is in my boat. He's always with me. Jesus is in my boat. He calms the storm.
Excellent. Okay, we're going to have 3 canoes today, okay? So these are really long canoes. These are like those things that they race, the dragon boats. So we're going to have you 6 in a boat right here. So y'all can come get in a line. Get in a line. Facing this way, facing this way. Okay, we'll have, let's see, you're in that boat. You 6 in this boat, middle boat, and all of you in this boat. Decide which side your boat's going to be paddling on. I'm a lefty. We've got a small boat over here. You want to come join this boat? There you go. Okay. So let's all just make sure we're in our boats, and let's all sing it one more time all together. 1, 2, here you go.
Jesus is in my boat. He's always with me. Jesus is in my boat. He calms the storm.
Excellent. Now we're going to do it in a round, okay? So you're the first boat. You're after, or you start after them, and then you're last, okay? How many times? We're going to do it 2 times all the way through. 1, 2, here you go.
Jesus is in my boat. 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 He calms the storm.
Nice. I love it. Okay, awesome. So that's one way that you can do that song. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to paddle around the room. So starting with this boat, I would like for y'all to find one little boat that's somewhere in the room and just go stand at that boat. Find your own boat. Hopefully I have enough. So everybody find little boats. They're all around. Everybody, yes. Yeah, we're breaking up boats. Say bye to your boat. Okay. So there are boats. I'm going to kind of go around and show you all where all they are because you're going to be traveling around. So we've got one back here. That luncheon back. You got that one? That one. We're traveling this way. That one. That one. Then you're going to come this way. We've got 1, 2, 3 behind the xylophones. Then we're coming to you. Then we got this boat at the drum. Then we're going this way. This one, that 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 one. Yes. Perfect. And then there's one way back there. Okay. Hey, would you mind moving your skateboard so nobody rolls
Yes.
away? Okay. That would not be cool. Okay. Okay. So here's what's gonna happen. We are going to sing the song, and while we sing the song, we're going to paddle. And then after we get to the end of the song, you're going to be at your instrument and your pattern. You're going to play the pattern 4 times on that instrument. Now this is a hard thing, this is very complicated, but y'all are advanced students, okay? This is something I do with older kids. So there are some syncopated rhythms in here. If you're not comfortable playing the syncopated rhythm, then just play a steady beat. Really, it's fine. But try to read the rhythm that's there if you're able to. And then we'll sing and we'll move again. I'm going to keep a beat on this drum to kind of help us all stay together. So how many times in a row are you playing your pattern? 4 times. So go ahead and get your instrument and get ready. Okay.
boat. He's always with me. Jesus is in my boat. He calms the storm.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready, sing.
Jesus is in my boat. He's always with me. Jesus is in my boat. He calms the storm.
Play. 2, 3, 4. Ready, sing.
Jesus is in my boat. He's always with me. Jesus is in my boat. He calms the storm.
Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. I'll let you stop right there. Good job. Excellent. Okay, y'all can go back to your seats and we'll kind of talk about that for a second. So, that's something I did with my older kids. So those were some hard rhythms. Of course, I knew y'all would excel at them because y'all are just advanced and y'all are awesome. But obviously, you could also have boats that only have tas and TTs on them, right? Like you could make any boats you want. So those happen to be for older kids. But you saw how you're moving around the room. You're sort of getting a feel for that, like what we call the big beat, like the half note beat. Singing a nice song. It's you can sing it in a round. So there's just lots of options you can do with that, and it's kind of something you can pull out when you need just a fun thing with instruments or whatever. So any like questions or comments about that? Okay. It's in pentatonic, so you can add like any fourth instruments to it, if they're in pentatonic. Okay. So let's talk about centers and small groups. I love to do centers with really all ages. I was really intimidated by centers when I started teaching because I just felt like it was like chaotic and like the kids doing stuff on their own. But it's actually so good, and I think it can really, really be useful when you have a small group of kids in your choir that you particularly need to work with on something. Like if you have a group singing a desk hit, or a group doing handbells, or anything like that can be one of your centers. But then like you have other things to keep the other kids engaged. So I just wanted to give you some ideas and about centers and ideas for things that you could do. If it's something that you feel like you could manage, it's also a great way to let the kids work independently, let them talk to each other, which they don't get to do all day at school. Like, I feel like working in public school, I've just seen so much like how the kids' day goes, and they're like sitting behind a computer so much of the day. And I just love giving them opportunities to interact with each other and stuff like that. So I'm gonna come back here and show you a few things. If you can just turn your head or whatever, but so I love for centers working with manipulative. So I have all of these little rhythm blocks. These blocks are from Target. They're on the dollar aisle right now with all the teacher stuff, but they have ABCs on them, so you just have to take the ABC stickers off, and they become music notes. And my kids love these because they click together, and they can make patterns and read each other's patterns and try to connect them all. These blocks also make a dice, like they fit together to make a die to roll for games, so that's kind of cool.
You can do that with Legos too, so you don't have to like buy those special ones if you have Lego
Yeah.
bricks or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, Legos work. So anything. I just got these and I like them because they're like flat and they.
Did you
They do the
draw on
job.
them or what?
Yes, I just drew the notes with a Sharpie.
Oh, you're very neat. They look really neat.
So that's something I like to use. Another kind of rhythm building thing I like to use is heartbeat cards. So I was talking about this, I think in my preschool session earlier, but I have these cards with 4 hearts on them, that look like this. And we just do a lot of like rhythm building in those. So you use the little erasers, these are little cat erasers, but mini erasers, and how many sounds in each heartbeat. So You could do it where they're like copying rhythms that are in one of your songs. Like you could have some rhythm passages and then have them sort of like putting them out on here to let them interact with the rhythms or create their own, create it and then play it on an instrument. So that's something I really like to do for centers. Same kind of creative stuff with melody. So I'll use this one. This one has do, re, mi, so, la, so the pentatonic scale on it. So again, this is kind of for my older kids. I have another one that just has so and me for preschoolers. So just depending on the age of your kids. But they can build little melody patterns and sing them. However it is that you teach stuff like this, just think of ways that they can manipulate the things and build it themselves. Because a lot of learners need like stuff to do, like stuff to do with their hands, and that helps them kind of really like learn it and it become part of their body. So that's one thing. Y'all can just honestly when you leave just like look over here and there's lots of stuff like that. Small group work with the teacher. So like I said, centers are a great time to work on a special part, a desk kit, speaking parts. You could have like your kids who have speaking parts in a group and work with them on that. But it's just a good way to have the other ones still doing something. Any worksheet or activity page that comes with your curriculum. Like I know Growing in Grace always has a lot of like kid pages and stuff like that. I'm not sure about all other ones. But that's a great time to do that, like in a center. And you can even put it like in these like dry erase pockets. So like put the worksheet in something like this and just have a dry erase marker so that you don't have to make copies for every kid and you don't have all these like papers, but they just do it and then erase it and let the next group do it. So that's just kind of some ideas for centers. I just think it's important to kind of think about those because like I said, I was always kind of intimidated until I did it, and then my kids love it, and it's a great way for me to interact with them and walk around and see what they're able to independently do. I would say to do no more than 10 minutes per rotation because that's about the limit of the attention span before they start like rolling around on the floor and you know all that. So about 10 minutes is the limit. So I guess just as we end, we're about to wrap up, but I just put a few of just random thoughts on your handout. When planning a rehearsal, consider how you can alternate between sitting and active activities. So you might notice we kind of did that today, right? We had like something where you're sitting here, and then we had something where you had to get up and move around. Then something where you're sitting here, move around. So the more you can alternate that, you're going to keep their attention. You don't want the kids sitting the whole time. Like you do not want them sitting the whole time. They're not going to sit the whole time, so you might as well like come up with something for them to do or they're going to be going crazy. And children's attention spans are usually equivalent to their age, so just think about that like an 8-year-old, 8 minutes is about what they can handle on something. And I think that's getting shorter and worse as we go, like as we get dependent on technology and video and all that stuff. So attention spans are so short. So I guess that's one reason, like if you think the beginning of the session where we kind of had all those different ways of teaching a song, like the more you can click through things, like do something like that to start learning a verse, and then like do something active, and then do something like that to work on a different part of a song, and then do a game. You know, like the more you can click back and forth between your activities, you're going to hold their attention. Try to have things ready and out. Any dead time is going to be just asking for them to start talking and moving, and you know, you just want to have things ready to go and don't give them a minute to be just sitting there. And that's hard like on the front end, but it makes the rehearsal go so much better. And then like read the children. If you're losing them, pivot and do something active and fun or do something else. I even just like move kids to a different location just for the sake of moving them. So we might be working on something and I'll have them all come to the circle and then we'll keep working on like, might do some echo patterns or something for just a minute, and then we'll keep on, but we're in a different location, and so that helps too. So hopefully those are just some tips that can help you in planning, and if y'all have anything to add, I'll take tips too. So anybody got anything added to that, or questions or thoughts?
Not to add, but I do have a question. Do you do the hand signs or the body for your elementary?
I do hand signs.
You do hand signs, okay.
I do hand
I
signs.
do too, but I haven't gotten real, like, complicated. And so I was just wondering, like, have you been successful with that?
Yes, I have, and I use them a lot, and this will be my 3rd year at my school that I'm currently at, and I have them kindergarten through 5th grade. So I start at the end of kindergarten, I teach sew and me. So we've been doing high and low, and I just give the name to it at the end of kindergarten. And then 1st grade I add la, and then I add re and do, and so then you have the pentatonic scale. And so it's kind of, I do it in a very like processed way, I guess, one at a time. But we do a lot of echo patterns, just to kind of warm up our voices every week, and it's worked pretty well for us. I think I did not learn solfege growing up, and then I got to college and had to like sightseeing and all that, and like theory lab, and I was like, what? And so it's not like I'm trying to, but I've seen in teaching it just how much it can really help your ear and help the children really be able to hear those intervals and stuff. So I think it's good.